value? How do you say the value of a film that's like a theme park film, for example, the Marvel type pictures, where the theaters become amusement parks? That's a different experience, and it's not even. I was saying earlier, it's not cinema; it's something else. Whether you go for that or not, but it is something else, and we shouldn't be invaded by it. And so that's a big issue. That's a big issue, and we need the theater owners to step up for that. You see, to allow theaters to show films that are narrative films.
All right, I have to talk about this because this is just too awesome. Francis Ford Coppola is backing Martin Scorsese, and he's calling Marvel films despicable. And I just have to say, well done. Thank you very much, Francis Ford Coppola. You're a legend. Scorsese's a legend. And they're dead on about this. Now, this all started with Martin Scorsese saying that, superhero films aren't cinema. And I believe the films he was referring to are the MCU films because those are the most popular superhero films. So, of course, he's referring to those. He's not referring to Joker because he was actually almost directing the Joker. So he's not referring to that superhero film. He's referring to every other one, which is mostly MCU films. And all the 14-year-old nerds out there got their panties in a bunch about Scorsese saying how wrong he is and saying, oh, well, the films are in a cinema, so they must be cinema. And they're totally missing the point of what Martin Scorsese was saying. And something I've been saying on this channel. And that is, there's a difference between movies and films. A big difference. Films are real art that belong in the cinema. And movies are something that you get entertained by, that you can rent on your TV. It's not an equivalent. There is a major difference here. And Francis Ford Coppola also agrees. The director of fucking Godfather? Yeah, he agrees. And these are some of his exact words. Francis Ford Coppola. He says, when Martin Scorsese says that the Marvel pictures are not cinema, he's right, because we are expecting to learn something from cinema. We expect to gain something, some enlightenment, some knowledge, some inspiration. And that's exactly the problem with these Marvel films. You gain nothing by watching them. And, that's something I've noticed ever since, Iron Man 2 came out. It's something I've been gaining from these Marvel films, which is nothing. I noticed it way back then. I'm surprised it's taken this long for, some of these famous directors to speak up about this. Because it's got to be extremely frustrating for them, The only major films that studios will invest in are these crappy, superhero films that do nothing for you. They don't give you any enlightenment. They don't teach you anything. You don't gain anything from watching the movie. Most people can't remember what the fuck happened in the last Marvel film. And that's because they're bad films. They're just movies. They're not actual films. They're almost like an episode of a TV show. Do you remember every episode of a TV show? No, because it's just entertainment. Unless it's a really good TV show and it's borderlining on, art.
Why are you making movies about TV shows? Let's stick to topics that moviegoers are interested in. We're not interested in TV shows.
And the same thing can be said for video games. There's some video games that are pure art, like Journey or Last of Us. And then there's some games that are just fucking sports games, like Madden or FIFA. It's just, some games are just meant for entertainment, and some are just meant to blow your fucking mind and enlighten you and grow you as a person. And, that's what films could do too. They have the power to do that, and we get none of that with these Marvel films. And now you have two of the most influential directors of all time, Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola, and they agree. Marvel films are not fucking films. They're movies. They're entertainment. That's all they are. They're just there so you can shove popcorn in your face. That's it. And the only people that don't see that are people that are too closely attached to the Marvel characters from the books. All they see is their favorite characters on screen, and that's it. They don't need anything else. And there's a part of me that can understand that, because with Suicide Squad, it's not a film. It's just a fucking movie. There's nothing that enriching about Suicide Squad. But I enjoy it anyway because I get to see some of my favorite characters on screen. So I understand that aspect of it. But there has to be a reckoning. There has to be a realization here with all these Marvel fans out there that are watching these MCU movies. At what point do you realize you're not growing from a movie? At what point do you realize you're wasting your time by watching a movie? And I think that's what, Francis Ford Coppola is trying to say. That's what these guys are trying to say. And that's not what cinema is. Look at Joker. Look at how much people are still talking about it, still thinking about it. That's because it's an actual film. And that's why I was calling it perfection, because there hasn't been a film like it in so long. There hasn't been another superhero film like it since The Dark Knight. Something that makes you think. And every good film does that. So, if it doesn't do that, it's not a film. It's just entertainment. And, that's it for now. What are your thoughts on Francis Ford Coppola's thoughts, Scorsese thoughts? I think they're dead on. I think they're 100% right. And I think if they're getting any backlash, it's from 14-year-old Marvel girls that don't know anything about filmmaking or what films are, and they just see entertainment, and they just want to shove their face full of popcorn and not think at all. That's what they want to do. And when you have actual established legendary directors coming out and saying this stuff, it really hurts, all these Marvel fans. It really hurts their egos. Because in essence, what they're saying is that you've wasted your whole lives watching these Marvel films because they haven't done anything for you. And that's like dead on. That's 100% right. But anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Everybody
right here.
that sees that movie should be put to death.